What's up, V fam? Dennis here, and I got a month one progress report that I'd like to go over today, and mindset for month two, and several principles, topics, mindset type mantras that I'd like to discuss. First, I want to share a quick story. So I, being a fitness nerd, will actually just consume people working out on YouTube on the weekends, in the morning, drinking my coffee. I could literally just sit there and watch people work out, on their YouTube channel, and that stuff gets me hyped. And so I was watching this old school, like 1970s Bulgarian weightlifting team training. And this guy was attempting a clean and jerk at 400 or 500 pounds, something insane that obviously I couldn't even lift it off the ground. But, so he steps up, he pulls weight off the ground, catches it on his shoulders. That's the clean. And then he tries to put it over his head and he fails. And most people, when they're training weightlifting, you fail. Once you get to that weight that you fail, that's pretty much it. You stop there, the workout's over. Well, he proceeds to try it 5 more times. Just a relentless pursuit at a near maximum weight. And this guy's a professional Olympian, and he failed. He just kept failing, but he didn't quit. And the idea there is that, did he leave that session feeling like a failure? Maybe, but did he leave that session better? And the answer is yes, right? He will be stronger from all of that failure. So it's this idea of failing forward or failing up. I don't know about all y'all. Maybe y'all are just hitting your plans perfectly. If you're doing that, great. But me, I'm the type of person who I always recognize what I fell short on. My mind is kind of wired that way. But I know that failure isn't failure, right? It's building me up as long as I keep coming back to try again. And it's this idea of maybe you failed in part in execution, but did you get better? And I did. So end of month recap, I am down in body fat percentage overall. Last week, I got a little carried away with Thanksgiving, so that my final week wasn't all that great, but not that much damage done. But I learned a lot of lessons. So my mindset going to month 2 is fail forward. It is constant refinement. It is identify your strengths, identify your weaknesses, and last but not least, talk to your coach, right? I know that sometimes it feels like we are going to bother our coach. I know I kind of feel that way, messaging Julio over the weekend, like, hey, I think I want to do this, do that, kind of my own ideas. But I know that when clients engage with me like that and they let me know what's going on, and as long as they have a plan, I would rather them tell me that, because a lot of times I can help them see from a different perspective, be like, yeah, that's a good plan, but consider this, that, and the other. And so Julio and I talked a little bit, and I know we'll talk again. Maybe I'm a pain in his ass, but I think he understands, that I'm trying my best. So here's what I learned. Number 1 is obviously when I get my calories right, it works, right? And so that was my strength through month 1. I was really disciplined about getting my calories correct, and clearly the body fat was going down as a result of that. So that's a strength. Now, the downside was towards the end of the month, my energy was really dwindling, which really started to affect my motivation to even work out at all. And working out in general, me as a person, is a strength of mine. When my energy is right, I always want to work out. And so I talked to Julio, and he's on board with this. It's like we may raise my calories just a little bit in order for me to have energy to work out even more than I did last month. And I think that's going to go a long way. I was really only getting like 3 good sessions in, and even those sessions were struggling. Like last week, I really only had what I would call 1 good session. Doesn't mean I didn't show up and work out, but I was just so flat on energy that they weren't great sessions. So I think if I can just increase my calories a little bit more, I can have 5 or 6 really good sessions a week, which will be way better for my body composition. And so my goals are a few things this month. I talked to Coach Julio and let him know what meals are really working well for me. So we're going to try and incorporate more of that: beef and rice, oatmeal, rotisserie chicken, Greek yogurt, whatever. Not important, but as long as he knows I know, focus on that. I'm going to track every single thing I eat in Chronometer. I think it's really important. Last month was a little bit of a ballparking situation where, I would get the grocery shopping done and I would cook everything. And then I would sort of eyeball what I was taking in. And that was good enough, but I know that month 2, I need to be better. So I'm going to weigh and measure, and even if it's exactly what's on the plan, I'm still going to put it into Chronometer. So I'm holding myself very, very accountable. Another thing I learned is, in the past, I've always been pretty good at this sort of pseudo intermittent fasting, where in order to eat less, I kind of skip breakfast, or I just sort of shift my whole day back, where I'm eating maybe breakfast around lunchtime, lunch around late afternoon, and then dinner. I'm sort of backloading my calories, where I eat more calories towards the end of the day. But I sort of had this light bulb moment where it's like, well, if I'm low on energy, what if we front load the calories? So get a bigger breakfast, a bigger lunch, and then a smaller dinner, and end eating. And I think that will help me, again, have more energy to actually work out, and just make my overall experience better. And so, again, I discussed this with Coach Julio. And so it's this idea of, identify what's working well, identify where you're struggling, talk to your coach, find solutions. It's constant refinement, and it's failing forward. These things that feel like failing, like where my energy sucks and I'm not getting it all perfect, it's just an opportunity to say, okay, cool. Well, then what can you do to refine that? So I hope that makes sense. Fail forward. Always consider how you can refine the process. Keep your coach in the loop, and just keep getting better. Keep getting better. Keep stepping up to that barbell and trying again and trying again, and come back tomorrow and try again, and eventually you'll get it and you will get to your goal. That's what I got. All right, y'all, have a great month too. We got some time before Christmas. Let's dial it in these next couple weeks. We're in this together. Peace.